Yeah, so today I wanted to just talk about relationship with yourself, um, and how you talk to yourself and how we find pleasure or why we feel good and what makes us actually feel good. Um, because I'm starting to realize that having external factors influencing how you feel is not the way you want to be. So I can definitely feel that I do things to maybe please a certain person or do something to affect a person's opinion of me to be a positive one, rather than potentially actually doing it for myself. So let me give you an example. I, although if I go to the gym, I might want to get in good shape for me, there's probably still an aspect in my subconscious that I'm trying to get in good shape or look better to gain a compliment from a friend, saying, "Oh, you look good," or "You've lost weight," or "Oh, you look strong." And I think if you do that, it's difficult then to be satisfied, because if you don't get that reaction that you expected, then you can feel disappointed. I mean, this is definitely something that I'm realizing too. Expectations. I just have the way I'm programmed, I have the best expectations of things, and I'll start not daydreaming, but start thinking about things in the best light possible, and that can only lead to disappointment. It's difficult to be realistic, and there's a part of me that I want to think positive, because then if I think, oh, the worst is going to happen, I feel a bit torn. Like, I don't want to be dragged down, but I guess there's a line between being realistic with your expectations and also not setting a target that's so high or expecting a reaction from a certain person that you would react. Because that's what it comes down to. I think we often base things off how we would react in that scenario. So if my friend was going to the gym and looked in good shape, how I would say it, I'd say, "Oh, mate, you're looking strong," and that's the way that we imagine the friend to say to us. Like, the way that we care for someone, we expect that care for us, or the care that we feel we need, we're expecting them to say or feel like we need them to say, when in reality, like, they can't. They're a different person. They don't think the way you think. The way that they care is different. The way that they see things is different. And it's so easy to read into the way someone has said something, or the tone of voice, or the body language, and feel like, oh, no, they don't care. But they do care. They just didn't reach that expectation of care that you had or wanted or needed. And yeah, I definitely realized, like, for me, that's brought me into trouble, like with anxiety, like feeling that I'm not good enough for this person potentially, or feeling that something's wrong with me, or, like I said, that they just don't care, or that they don't care the way they need you to. So maybe I need to be more realistic. Maybe that's something that we could all do that would benefit us. Be more realistic and understand that, people have their own things. So if my friend had started a new job, I know he started a new job, but the time I see him, I might not remember to ask him. So then he might internalize, oh, he doesn't care because he didn't ask about that job that he knew I had. But in reality, maybe I just had a busy day and I asked him how he is, and he brought it up before I could ask him. And that doesn't mean I don't care. Obviously, I care about my friends. I want the best for them, and I assume they want the best for me. And so it's so easy to twist reality, like with our own perception, the way we think. I definitely do it. And I'm just trying to become more aware of my triggers, or when I begin to go down a thought spiral that has probably been set up from when I was a child, like the way we've been programmed. You know, you've learned to be in the world a certain way that as you become older, it doesn't serve you the way it did, doesn't protect you anymore. It's a hindrance to feeling fulfilled and satisfied and content, because that's what it's about too. We can't be happy all the time, and we can't be feeling a certain emotion 24/7 for the rest of our life. That's just fact. So I guess it's finding a way of balancing what you do in your life, what output you have in your life, whether that be work-wise, career-wise, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you feel like you need to work on, that makes you feel fulfilled and satisfied in life. That's the main thing, right? Like, without that, what would we do? I mean, that's the thing. If you have a good balance of family, friends, feeling like you're contributing to society, the world, you feel good, you exercise, you eat good, like, they're just fundamentals for how you can be. Obviously then other things come in to play, like we were talking about, childhood traumas, or traumas, doesn't even have to be in childhood, but if you have a good base, that's always going to be there. You can work through these things. The trauma's always going to be there too, but if you're doing the wrong things, not necessarily the wrong things, not that something's right or wrong, but if you're doing something that you know in yourself, I could be this, for example, me, if I'm going to bed at 4 a.m, I know I feel worse the next day. So there's guilt, there's obviously going to be guilt attached to it. So if I'm getting an early night and then waking up early, I know I'm setting myself up to feel the best, have the most energy, do the most things that day. Whereas if you're not doing that, the traumas are still there in either scenario. But if you're then more tired, for me, tiredness and low energy is one of my worst attributes for having a bad day. If I'm tired, I really struggle to push myself in any area. And that's just something that I've realized over time. And it does take time to figure yourself out. And that's part of it, the journey. We can't be where we want to be all the time. And we can't feel bad if we're not where we want to be. You know, as long as you're trying, that is the main thing. Even if it's a small push that day, it's better than nothing. Like, small gains over time will become bigger. You'll be able to see the influence that they had. Small little changes in routine can make a huge difference. And I think if you're really struggling with feeling really low, or having bad habits that you really want to change, feeling like you're unfulfilled, depressed, set one goal for the day. Because when I felt like that, you then make a list, and the list keeps going. You got 6 to 10 things, because you feel like, or the way I felt was, oh, I've not been doing these things for so long, I need to make up for it. I need to make up the time and do triple, quadruple the amount. Whereas that's unrealistic. It's an unrealistic expectation that when it's not fulfilled, then you feel crap, and then you feel worse, and then you get in this rut again. Set one goal for the day and do that one goal. So for me, it might be going back to sleeping. Get up, out of bed at 9 a.m. That's all I have to do for the day. And once you start doing that, you start feeling good that you actually now listening to what you have told yourself. This is what I'm going to do, and I've done it. You build a bit of self-respect. And once that becomes more of an easy part of your routine, you can build on it. And it's so funny, like doing that one thing will give you a tiny bit of a boost, and that boost might make you do something else, go for a walk, read a book for 10 minutes, things that you want to do but you've been putting off. And when you make a whole list of the 10, 12 things you want to do, it stops you before you can even start. So if you have that one thing, you get it done, it might make you feel better, or in a place where the other things become easier. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. Like, you've done your task for the day, and then do it again the next day and see how you feel. And once that builds, you can add something else to your day. So yeah, today, try it. Set yourself a goal for tomorrow and do that goal. See how you feel. Do it for the rest of the week. Tomorrow's Monday, so set your goal and see if you can do it 7 days. If not 6, do 6 out of the 7 days minimum. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.